Namaskar, hello and welcome to Sunset TV. I'm Tina Jha. You're watching Perspective. Today on the show, we will talk about consumer rights and responsibilities. Every year, 24th of December is observed as National Consumer Day. On this day, the Consumer Protection Act of 1986 had received the assent of the President. The enactment of this act is considered as a historic milestone in the consumer movement in the country. The National Consumer Day presents an opportunity to highlight the importance of the consumer movement and the need to make people aware of their rights as consumers. Also to ensure consumers with effective safeguards against different types of exploitation like defective goods, deficiency in services and unfair trade practices. Especially in this age of e-commerce, which has facilitated creation of new approaches to service and product delivery, the challenges of ensuring customer protection have grown manifold. So how are the interests of e-commerce consumers being protected? How is free and fair competition in e-com market being encouraged? And how are redressal mechanisms for consumer grievances being strengthened is what we will look at in Perspective today. Joining me is an eminent panel of experts. Let me first introduce them to you. In the studio with me is Mr. Suresh Mishra. He's Professor, Center for Consumer Studies, IIPA. And I'm joined by virtually on the program by three eminent personalities. Mr. Pavan Kumar Agarwal, he's former Secretary, Department of Consumer Affairs. Pushpa Girimanji, she is author and consumer safety advocate. And Kanishka Arumugam, he's Executive Member, CII, and Co-CEO, Eki Water Technology Group. I welcome on panelists on Sunset TV. Mr. Mishra, let me begin the program with you. So, the e-com industry we've seen has grown by leaps and bounds in India in recent years, particularly during the pandemic. And in a way, we can say it was the backbone in our fight against pandemic because it was helping people meet their basic needs. However, with the growth of this industry, what has also increased is instances of online fraud, counterfeit products, also misleading advertisements which are duping consumers. So as we are marking the National Consumer Day, let me begin the program by asking you on the growing need of consumer protection in this age of e-commerce and the challenges in doing so.
We cannot deny that there is really no need for the protection as far as e-commerce issues are concerned, because that's growing leap and bound in the country. But the good thing is that in the new Consumer Protection Act of 2019, the Department of Consumer Affairs was given the power to make rules regarding e-commerce, and the rules have been notified. And the rules really are very comprehensive, and they provide a very, very comprehensive protection to the consumers. As far as the growth of e-commerce during the pandemic and the kinds of frauds that were taking place, the department has set up the National Consumer Helpline. I also happen to be the project director of the helpline. We receive around 70,000 complaints per month, which is very huge in terms of volume if we see. Before pandemic, we would get around 18 to 20% complaints relating to e-commerce. During and after pandemic, as far as the latest data that I give you, it has gone to nearly 43%. A huge surge in the complaints against e-commerce companies. And complaints relate to various kinds. It's not only that there is a defect in the product or there is deficiency in the service, but complaints also relate to frauds that are taking place. And fake products, non-delivery of products. Now what is happening is the e-commerce entities, they take the order, but then they say that we don't have in the shelf. And they hold the consumer money for almost a month, 2 months. The consumer says you give back the money if there is no product, but they just don't respond to them. So what we have been doing now is that all the fraud, especially the which relate to the criminal aspects of that there is a understanding, and that those complaints are forwarded to the MHA because they take up with the police and others. So today, because of e-commerce rules, it very clearly states that all information about the product and services have to be displayed, which was never there earlier. The return policy has to be there. It has to be clear. Pricing has to be there. Then the question is, what is the consumer entitled to? in case there is a complaint, what is the complaint redressal mechanism that they have? And it has been mandatory for all these entities to have a redressal mechanism now. So I think the new e-commerce rules and the Consumer Protection Act, they provide a comprehensive protection to the consumer as of today, because this is one sector which every day technology changes.
Absolutely.
But I think there is a good platform where the consumers, they can file their complaint with the National Consumer Helpline, which is easiest. We have the toll-free number, 1-800-11-4000. And our experience is we have convergence companies, and as per the rules, most of the e-commerce companies, they are partners with us.
Certainly. So how effective are these redressal mechanisms, and the scope to strengthen them further is something that I'll come back to you and discuss on the program. But Mr. Agarwal, coming to you. So Mr. Mishra spoke about how there have been efforts towards consumer protection, but the National Consumer Day also speaks about increasing awareness on the consumer rights. Now, keeping in view the changing trade practices, particularly, because of the changing technology, what are the kind of consumer outreach initiatives being undertaken by the Government of India, and how effective they have been so far?
Thank you for inviting me on this show. So I would first touch upon the changing landscape of e-commerce consumers. I'm not surprised when Dr. Mishra mentioned that there has been increase in complaints on e-commerce platforms, because during the COVID, a lot of buying had shifted to the e-commerce platforms. So obviously, when there are larger volumes, so there'll be more complaints. But having said this, because this is expanded very, very fast, so the Government of India also felt a need to further amend the e-commerce rules, and there is a consultation on these further amendments that is currently taking place. And these amendments relate to prevention of cross-selling, pullback liability, flash sales, and mis-selling issues. So once these provisions and other provisions under that are being proposed, they are put in place, it will further strengthen the consumers from fraud and deception that happens through the e-commerce platforms. Now, as far as consumer awareness is concerned, the government has a massive program, a very well thought out program, Jago Grahak program, Jago Grahak Jago. And under that, there are information dissemination that takes place largely using digital media in the changed landscape. But more importantly, I think consumers are helping each other, through various social media platforms. The way when a consumer gets, short charged by businesses, that spreads like wildfire, and redressals to that, that is also shared by the public at large with each other, and that is helping in empowering the consumers in a big way. So I'll stop here.
And in a related question, Mr. Agarwal, before I go on to the other panelists, when we talk about awareness, particularly the challenges are in the rural areas, in the hinterland. So are there any special initiatives to spread awareness regarding consumer rights in the rural setup as well?
No, I think as the internet penetration and particularly mobiles, I think there is no distinction, not much distinction in the penetration of mobile phones in the rural and urban areas. So the same digital media becomes more effective in reaching out to consumers. And I'm sure Dr. Mishra will share with you that complaints he's getting on the consumer helpline are not necessarily from the metros and big cities. So they are from across the country, including from the rural areas and urban, small towns.
Okay. Pushpa Girmaji, let me come to you and get in your perspective on how things have changed as far as consumer safety is concerned in India. When the e-commerce ecosystem was emerging in the country, there was widespread violation of consumer rights, following which the Consumer Rights Act of 2019 and also the new e-commerce rules were notified. Some amendments were also proposed by the government earlier this year. As someone who has closely fought for consumer safety, has followed consumer issues related to consumer rights as well. How effective do you think both of these steps, the Consumer Safety Act of 2019 and the e-commerce rules, have been in safeguarding consumer protection?
Well, as far as e-commerce is concerned, the fact is, yes, we have very detailed e-commerce rules to protect consumers. And then, of course, the only thing lacking is consumer awareness about it. Consumers still need to know, to understand their rights vis-a-vis these, rules, and then, demand that they be followed by the e-commerce companies. And two is also enforcement. Like, for example, I see that even though e-commerce rules say that you have to show, when you buy something, you have to show the product's date of manufacture and date of expiry. But on many portals, when you see, you don't see that at all on a product. And similarly, when they put weights, for example, generally in packaged commodities, you have to have certain mandated weights. That is, packages should be sold in mandated weights, but so that consumers understand, consumers are able to compare prices on the basis of the weights. If there are two items which are 500 grams each, then they can compare the price and buy what is best suited to them. But in e-commerce, what I see is when they sell particularly things like vegetables and fruits, which people are buying so much more online,
Yes.
Through online portals these days because of COVID. They say, like, they will put, say, a particular vegetable is the weight is put in something like 432 grams. Another is in 220 grams. So it makes it absolutely impossible for consumers to compare prices. So this kind of non-standardized, weighing, even though they're not packaged, but this kind of non-standardized display of pricing or of vegetables or groceries, I think it's totally unfair and acts against consumer interest. That's as far as e-commerce is concerned.
Okay.
Safety is concerned, yes. The Central Consumer Protection Authority. In fact, I must say that Consumer Protection Act of 1986, if you look at the rights of consumers, one of the first rights that they mention is the right to safety. But unfortunately, in our country, we have never got, consumer safety has never received the kind of attention that it should have because of various reasons. In fact, the Consumer Protection Act gave an agency like the consumer justice system to enforce one right of the consumer, that is the right to redress. But as far as other rights were concerned, that is right to be protected from unfair trade practices, a right to safety, for some of these rights, there was no provision for, actually enforcing these rights. As a result, consumer safety particularly, I would say, has really got neglected in our country. And you can see it in the large number of accidents that happen in our country because of the negligence of the manufacturer or the consumer. Yeah. And then one, of course, can go to consumer court for redress. But unfortunately, there again, unlike
the procedure is
what was promised
long.
to us, yes. That is taking very long. And even in the regulatory authority, in fact, I fought for this regulatory authority for a long time. And one of the main things I wanted was the safety, that safety should get adequate, attention as
Absolutely.
far as consumers are concerned. Even though that is there, I do still feel that it's yet to get the kind of attention that it ought to get, because we have given a lot of attention to
what needs to be done in this regard? I'll come back to you, Pushpa Girmaji, in just a while and understand. You can put forth your suggestions, but Kanishka, coming to you to get in your perspective, in fact, to get in the industry's perspective, I must say, customer is at the heart of any business. And for any business, for trade, for that matter, for growth as well, it is important to put the consumers first. So help us understand if the CII is taking any efforts to, build the kind of trust that is required in the e-commerce marketplace, because we've been speaking about the kind of violations of consumer rights that have taken place in the e-commerce market, and also to put the consumers first, to treat the consumer as the king.
Absolutely. I totally agree with Pawan sir and Pushpa madam that consumer is key, and consumers are the fundamentals of any business, right? So as organizations, as industries, we largely understand today, I think no more is the world that you can treat your consumers badly. So consumers experience, I could talk more about consumer experience today. Smartphone shopping is at the highest, so e-commerce and everything has become digital. So along with it also comes a lot of data privacy issues. So as organizations, we collect a lot of data to tailor special products for consumers. So it's
Okay.
also necessary of organizations to save these data also, number one. Number two, I would talk about the consumer experience. See, there's a study saying that 50% of consumers who've had a bad experience with any product or a brand will never come back to it. So this is something very serious for any organization to work on the consumer experience. See, customers will drive revenue, but your staff, your employees are the one who's giving the customer experience. So I think a lot of training in industries has to be given to also employees trained well to enhance a smooth consumer experience. So these are my three takeaways.
Okay, Mr. Mishra, coming back to the redressal mechanism, because that is one very, very important aspect of consumer grievances in India. So you said there are different kinds of mechanisms where the consumers can go to with their complaints. But how effective and strong are these mechanisms? And I ask you this because what we have seen in a recent trend that has been emerging is, number one, consumers do not want to approach the mechanisms because they take way too long. There is no timely resolution of disputes. And if at all they want to rake up the issue that they were duped or something happened to them, it's the social media platforms that they have been using. And surprisingly, we see that companies which would otherwise not take any interest in addressing, once you put it up on social media, they will immediately respond, they will get back to you. So are these mechanisms not effective enough that people are resorting to social media platforms? Or is it because there is quick redressal on social media platforms that this new trend is emerging?
See, one, you have the structured three-tier redressal mechanism. At the district commission, you have state commissions and the national commission where any consumer can go and file his complaint. But then it takes time, even though the law provides for 3 months. But the experience is that it's much beyond that, so there is little. To expedite now, the government has also brought in the provision of mediation. So if both the consumer and the company agree to it, they can go for mediation, and within 2, 3 sittings, 4 sittings, they can just finish. So that will cut down the period. Apart from that, the government has provided an alternate mechanism. That is the National Consumer Helpline. And we have been very successful as far as e-commerce is concerned. That's something which we are very lucky, I would say. We have convergence companies, and almost the companies having 80 to 85% market share. They are our partners. Convergence is essentially being a voluntary partnership we have. Now, the companies which are in partnership with us are the major ones. And say within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they redress the grievance. Earlier, the mandate was within 45 days they have to redress. But now the government has brought it down to 30 days. And still we are having very good redressal. And the estimates I can give you is around 80 to 85% of the complaints are being redressed today, as far as convergence companies are concerned.
Okay.
But non-convergence, we have an issue because many of these sites are fake, fraud, they just disappear once the consumer accesses and transfers money. So that problem is there, which is more to do with the cyber security and other issues. But as far as convergence companies, we are able to reach around 80 to 85% of redressal is there. So that's a pretty good, just make a phone call and your complaint is redressed.
Okay. So whether Pushpa Girmaji agrees with the timely resolution of disputes is something that I'll go to her and understand. Is it something that is happening, Pushpaji, on the ground? Because for consumers, I mean, as far as I know, people who are aggrieved because of these e-commerce companies, their whole complaint is all about that, it takes too long for redressals. So what Mr. Mishra is saying, is that reflecting on the ground?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's very unfortunate. In fact, when the law came into being, even the 1986 law, the idea was that this would be, in fact, the lawmakers said this is only purely compensatory in nature. And because of that, the cases would be decided very quickly. And also, they said because the case would be decided quickly and there would be considerable compensation to consumers who've suffered, this would have an, good effect on or a deterrent effect on the industry, trade and industry, so that they will also become far more, responsible and respect consumer rights. But unfortunately, that hasn't happened, and the reason is again because the delays in the consumer justice system, and two, the poor compensation, the miserly compensation that is given to consumers. That after a very long battle, what you give as compensation is not adequate, it's not satisfactory, then I think it does defeat the very purpose of this consumer justice. And then, unfortunately, as far as consumer courts are concerned, adjournments are the biggest problem. Constantly, despite the fact that the law, unfortunately, 86 law said, adjournment should be avoided as far as possible. The 2019 law should have completely prohibited adjournments and said only in the rarest of rare cases, but they and also said you must give a very hefty penalty for those who seek compensation. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. So the adjournments continue. In fact, the Indian Institute of Public Administration, Professor Suresh Mishra's organization, one of their studies conducted last year showed that in 71.8 cases, adjournments, often given for frivolous reasons, led to delays. So this is unfortunately the state of affairs. And so long as we don't stop these adjournments, and then simplify the procedures further, I don't see, an improvement in the process of justice. And also, I have been saying this. In fact, I said it before the parliamentary committee too, and that one of the things that could be done, at least for the time being, is to bring all cases below 2 lakhs, whose value is below 2 lakhs, say no adjournments, no lawyers, because lawyers also cost a lot of money for consumers. Yes. And because of the complicated process involved before these courts, consumers are forced to hire lawyers. So at least for cases which fall below 2 lakhs, for a start, you can have, you can ban lawyers, you can ban adjournments, and probably even appeals, and ensure that at least those people get their justice within 3 months'
and
time.
Not every consumer wants to go through that complicated procedure. Mr. Agarwal, coming back to you to understand, because this remains a challenge. Despite several initiatives being undertaken by the government in recent years, quick redressal remains a major challenge as far as consumer protection is concerned. What can consumers do for quick redressal is number one question. And another aspect that, because Pushpaji mentioned the standing committee, and one of the major recommendations was to work towards data security and data privacy of consumers in this age of technology. So is anything happening on that front? Are these e-commerce companies setting up a data center as required in India?
Give a good news, Pushpaji, all cases less than 5 lakhs in value, there is no fees requirement. The cases can be filed online and there is no need for going through an advocate. So I'm sure that other expectations that you have will also be met. I'm not...
No, consumers, consumers need not have lawyers at all. But the problem is the procedure before these courts have become so complicated that consumers are forced to hire lawyers. And then, of course, the adjournments that they go on seeking, that leads to delays. That's the point.
It's a prolonged procedure and consumers definitely do not want to be part of it. So they resort to the lawyers. Okay, Kanishka, one quick comment from you on data privacy and data security, because that remains a core problem when we talk about e-commerce and the engagement of consumers in this kind of a setup of trade practice.
So I think, nowadays, every company, every organization collects a large set of data, right? Like the large set of data, primarily from the organization's point of view, is to tailor what the customer wants and position and market goods specifically for them. With that comes with a great responsibility. So organizations have to ensure that the data is protected well and not misused. So that's one thing like every organization ethically and morally have to work on. And also the laws are, framed in a way to protect the consumer rights. So that's one. So consumer today wants speed, consistency, and a good experience, right? These are not like things that fancy to have. These are the must these days. So, your business could, with a bad consumer experience, your business could die very quickly. So it's not just because of the law, but these are fundamental essentials, and your core business strategy has to be, framed around consumer experience.
All these efforts
takeaway.
come with a rider, Mr. Mishra, isn't it? That the consumer at the end has to be responsible, has to thoroughly check which company, e-commerce company he or she is buying from and the kind of service that they are bound to get. But with that, I'll have to call it a wrap on this edition of the show today. Thank you to all my guests for joining me on the program and sharing your thoughts with us and our viewers. It was indeed a pleasure having you on the program with us today. So with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Perspective. Thank you very much to our viewers as well for their time.